Thanks for joining. I'm Andrew Jones, Vice President over at Truck Parking Club, and I'm joined here with Randy Trapanick. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Trapanick.
Trapanick, I'm sorry. He
That's
is the
okay.
Director of Operations over at FreeUp Storage, which is a Spartan Investments company. Randy, feel free to introduce yourself, and let's get into it.
Hey, so like you said, my name is Randy Trapanick. I'm Director of Operations for FreeUp. So I oversee all the day-to-day operations for our 64 sites we own and manage, and our other 18 sites that we have managed for us in some remote locations. And then I have district managers and store managers that report up through me, and some of our support staff we work with to make this engine grow and to partner with companies like Truck Parking Club.
Right on, right on. And kind of give us a little bit of background on, from the 0 facilities all the way up to the 64. I mean, kind of tell us a little bit more about Spartan and just about you guys in general and kind of how you started to, how you are today.
Yeah. So Spartan Investment Group, just getting a little over 5 years. We started, I think, in residential housing originally, and then decided to go into self-storage and open up a brand. And so when you open up a brand in self-storage, you go out and buy 4, 5, 6 properties to get started. And so, we went out with a bang. Instead of buying a couple in one state, we went all over the place. And so we started growing from 2 to 5 and then doubling it to 10 and 15 and 20, where, last year we brought on about 8 properties. This year, we're looking to bring on close to 14 properties we're in the middle of expanding. We just hit our 15th state that we're in across the country. So, our goal at Spartan is to bring wealth to all of our investors and our employees in whatever way that means for them. Because different people look at wealth differently. Some people it's financial wealth and security. Some people it's they're saving for something and they want to be part of something and they want to be able to invest. And so we really work hard. And we have a motto that everything we do has to do about grit. And it's about having respect for people and having gratitude for people and having integrity and having tenacity are all the key components of what we do, and that's how we work.
No, and it's really interesting, and I've definitely, even outside of truck parking, I've been watching you guys and seeing how well you've done the last couple of years. And I mean, 64 facilities in 5 years is very, very impressive at, in my eyes, and I think to a lot of other people's eyes that are listening. And to that point, especially with what you do, you're kind of like the linchpin, 64 properties, 15 states. Like, tell me kind of about your strategy on the operational efficiency. Like, what's like the groundwork, and like even kind of take us through like a day in the life. Like, how did you get to that point?
So for us, it really is. It's around basics. So it is nothing new. All the good stuff has already been invented. So we really narrowed down our focus, and we said, here's what we want to do at Spartan and at FreeUp Storage. We want to do the daily things really great every day. So we want to greet customers. We want to talk to them. We want to have the cleanest properties. We want to make sure we answer the phones in under 15 minutes and get back with customers. Our average call time with our call center that we actually just launched this year in our stores is like under 3 minutes to call back. Wow. When you come in, we want to have a great experience. It is not a rush. We don't want you to talk to us and spend 2 minutes on the phone. It's not transactional. We know that storage for people is a big deal. Nobody drives down the road and goes, boy, you know what I need? I just need a storage unit because I want one today, right? It's a need. And so we know that. So we train our folks to be the experts in their field. We train our folks to ask a lot of questions. We train our folks when they're outside on properties to talk to people and engage with people. And we don't really have a cookie cutter approach to certain things. We want stores in different markets to reflect those. So we do a lot of local marketing. We do a lot of community events. We were even in a Comic-Con.
Really?
In a booth at a Comic-Con last
No
week.
way.
So nobody ever and a couple people, I don't know what Iron Man needed to store, but apparently he rented a unit and stored some stuff, right? So we're in local communities. We're doing something right now to help the flood victims in Texas.
Wow.
And we really look at it that way. And we have a team that we take the time to recognize people. So one of the things that we do that's unique I've been in business now, I'm going into, and I'm dating myself, like 35 years
Hmm.
in business. One of the things we do is we have a meeting every Monday called a sync. And we start the meeting with one thing we're grateful for or somebody who's helped us in the company. And that's the way we start the meetings. And so we
Wow.
try to translate that down to our teams with different types of rewards and different types of praise, and just acknowledging the fact that you have people working today. It's 110 degrees and they're out cleaning units, to take the time to say thank you for doing that. Okay,
Got it.
is the thing. And from efficiency, we're really looking to leverage technology. So we partnered with Stories, and we
Hmm.
have some sites that are remote, but they're really not truly remote, because when you walk in, you have a live person that within 5-6 seconds comes on the screen. It's not AI, even though
Yeah.
people think they start talking with AI, and then we have to tell them, no, we can actually see you moving. You're
Yeah.
talking to one of our managers in a central location.
Yeah.
Um, we have electronic locks at some locations. We have a call center. For our size, to have an in-house call center
Hmm.
is unique, but we want to make sure we can get back to our customers and we can talk and reach out to them. So we're not afraid to do different partnerships. We're not afraid to think outside the box a little bit and partner with, like you guys, like truck parking across the country. I remember when I saw this at ISS,
Yeah.
walked up and was like, there's this big yellow tent and guy wearing a cowboy hat talking about truck and parking trucks. Like, let me see what this is. And then like, oh, you know what? We can do this. This is great for us.
Hmm.
Um, so we look at that. We look at our strategic things we can do for cell towers. We have commercial space, right? How
Hmm.
can we reach out to local community and be like, hey, we can save you money if you're renting all this big space for storage. We can get you into a smaller space, and you can use some of our units to run your business. And
Right.
so we're not afraid to try different things to make the operation as streamlined as possible.
Well, yeah, and I kind of want to, before we get to the truck parking part,
Yeah.
is really talk about impactful kind of challenges that you've had. And it seems to me like that call center was definitely a really big kind of hurdle that you guys kind of got over. Is there anything else that maybe some other operators that are listening to you that could be like, oh yeah, that like we had the same thing and this is what we did? I mean, what really comes to mind? Is it really that call center, or is it something else that might come to mind?
Well, there's a couple things we do that would come to mind really. The first thing is we really took the time to look at like our auction process and how we can automate it and how we can make it easier for folks, because we're not in the business of selling people stuff.
Right.
We're in the business of renting units. And so we work with a company called AI Lean, and we partner for getting our units down, our unit mix down. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this off my screen. So
Hmm.
it doesn't keep popping up in our meeting. Um, Getting our unit mix down so that we can reach out to people more. So we have set communications. We over communicate to people who are in those auction stats, try to make deals with them to save their
Mm,
stuff and keep them. Um, is one of the big hurdles. The other one is really having a good CRM system in place. So we partner with Call Potential, so
right.
we can track leads and we can integrate more. And now I can have, if somebody calls in sick
Hmm.
and they're at a store we don't have stories in, I can have somebody else dial in, answer their phones, call their customers, and follow up with them. So we're not losing any of this. And then our big lift, yeah, standing up, we stood up a call center in less than 90 days to start.
Whoa,
So
really?
90 days from we want to do it to we have an active call center to right now we have a call center and we have an after hours call center in place for customers. And that's
Wow.
90. We're just hitting 100 days and we have that in place. And
Eh,
so
wow. I
those are
mean,
the things that make a difference.
no, congratulations. I mean, that is huge. And I mean, kind of moving on to the truck parking side of this, I mean, out of the 64 properties, you guys have 12 of the properties up today,
Yep.
all across the country.
Yep.
And you guys did that. I mean, you met us at ISS in April, and
Yep.
now we're
We
recording this July 9th. So that was, I
yeah,
mean,
we stood it up June 14th. We stood it up, and we're getting ready to expand it and add another, I think, 14 sites to it before
wonderful.
the end of July. because it really is a good partnership. It's good for our additional revenue. It's also good. It's translated into actual rentals for us. Like we've had a couple of the drivers literally go, I need a storage unit. So
Really?
we've had 3 drivers rent like storage units from us in different places. And we had somebody who knew a guy totally off top, but it just worked this way. He parked, knew a guy
Uh-huh.
who had an ice business. Like I didn't even know that people still had ice businesses, but apparently they do.
Yeah.
The guy needed a place to park his vehicle, but we had a store that doesn't have secured parking.
Mm.
So he said, well, I'll pay you guys to use one of your parking spaces. So we created a parking space for him. But it was
Really?
directly because he knew a guy that had parked at that location through
Oh, through
the
Truck
club.
Parking Club.
And
Wow.
he talked to his buddy and said, hey, you've been looking for a place. These guys might be able to help you.
No,
Right?
and
So it's a good partnership that way.
I love to hear stories like that because when Evan, our owner, decided to create Truck Parking Club, he really wanted to emphasize the club part, right? Like it's more of a community because truckers are, I mean, obviously you've met some of them and I'd love to hear your feedback there, but they're very kind of like fraternal. They're very like, caring for each other most of the time.
Yep.
And having said that, like, what are some of the things that like surprised you? Like, hey, I thought it was going to be like this, but now it's like this. I mean, just genuinely curious.
I think one of the 2 biggest things are this is, we work with different vendors and every vendor will tell you, oh, if you do this, it's simple, it's easy. You're not going to have any headaches. And I've been doing this for 35 years. And that never is the case. Like,
Yeah.
I will say with you guys, one of the differences because of the way it's set up, where you're doing all the upfront work. You're handling everything. You have all the information. We've been doing this now. It's been literally a month. We haven't had any issues. They come in, they park, they do it. Our managers know they're there. We've had some of our managers interact with them. They've been very polite and nice. We had a guy come in, he parked in the wrong spot. We said, "Oh, you just have to move over there," and he moved his truck. And he's like, "Hey, not a problem." They said we've gotten referrals from it, and it really has made it an easy relationship. And for storage, especially because storage is one of those industries where we're not manned with a lot of people. I mean, 90% of the time in all storage companies, there is one person at a site. Like it really is. It's one person 90% of the time they're by themselves. So if you can give them something where all they have to do is go, yep, there's a truck in that spot. It said it was going to be in that spot. They don't have to really do anything else. They love that.
Yeah.
Right? Because now they're just confirming something. They're walking around their property going, there's something supposed to be there and it's there. We're good. And they go on to the next thing. And so those have been, a very pleasant surprise so far where the interactions have been really positive. There hasn't been, well, we forgot to tell you, or we forgot to do this. And so that's been the other thing really is your team's ability to respond. So, we pride ourselves as Spartan about one thing. We are not off the clock.
Yeah.
I've been in meetings on Sunday afternoon. Like we look to get stuff done. Every time I have reached out to you guys, every email we have sent, every phone call we have done, no matter the day or the time, we were getting a response. And usually it's a response of, oh, I was working anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
we appreciate the grind.
And so it is. And when you partner with people who are grinding as hard as you are, it makes it easier because they're doing the work on the back end.
Well, yeah, no, and I just had a thought, and I think we might have talked about this, or you might have talked to Adam about this on our team, but I was having this discussion with another operator. Like, hey, should I do U-Haul or should I do Truck Parking Club? Like, he could only do either one, right? I know we're kind of going a little off topic, but what would you prefer? I mean, people are 50-50.
I'm going to get in trouble with you. I'm going to get in trouble with all the U-Haul people right now. So here's the thing. We're a storage company. We are not in the business of renting trucks.
Yeah.
U-Haul takes a lot of man hours to do. We have to do it. So if you have to choose U-Haul, you have to understand you're committing your manager to 2 or 3 or 4 hours out of their day taking care of trucks. Yeah. Also, you're also committing the fact that you're going to get a lot of incoming calls and they're not going to be for storage.
Hmm.
And you have to deal with, I'm returning my truck and this isn't the right location, or I dropped it off and I just parked it here, and now you got to figure out the keys. Um, I don't want to put U-Haul down there. They're a good company. They do a great
Absolutely.
service. Um, but if I have to choose one, and I look at my manager, and I look at my time, if
Hmm.
I got to go, I'm going to give you something where people will book themselves, they'll park, they will tell you how long they're staying. If there's a problem with the drive or anything else, you call this 800 number.
Hmm.
If something happens on your property, like some reason, it hasn't happened to us. Matter of fact, I've reached out to a couple of peers that have it. It hasn't happened to them either. But say for some reason the driver does hit a gate or
Yeah.
something, right? We do an incident report. We call you guys. You guys reach out, get the information for us, help us get the claim, and we go. With U-Haul, that's not that. That is, you're getting reservations, you're having people show up, you have people show up for the wrong stuff. Someone didn't return a truck on time that's supposed to go out. Now you don't have one. So you're dealing with all these things. That's time. That's
Hmm.
time where they can't local market. That's time where they can't clean their facility. That's a phone call ringing in that you can't answer to rent a unit
Yeah.
that you get. So if I have to choose between the two, I'm going to choose the one where I get to keep all my time. I don't have to answer the phone unless there's some dire emergency.
Yeah.
And I can very easily check on the progress, and I can see it on an easy to use dashboard rather than I got this, I collected this, they forgot the dolly. Those are just things that happen.
No, no, and I agree. And this was,
Mhm.
I remember when I first joined Extra Space, I was part of this ancillary revenue kind of program before the Life merger. And I
Yep.
remember going through the Penske, the U-Haul, all these different kind. And like, yeah, we'd rank up revenue pretty high, but what would be higher or just as high is the amount of man hours for
Yep.
somebody on site. And I remember looking at Truck Parking Club and telling the rest of the Extra Space team, guys, they don't have to do anything. District manager, property manager,
Nope.
and gosh, it's even gotten better, 2 years on. But, having said that, how scalable? Obviously, we kind of talked about, you're adding another 14
Mhm.
properties.
Mhm.
Do you feel like this is as scalable for every single property that you guys have? Or how do you guys kind of feel about the scalability of this
I
kind of
I
offering?
think it's scalable for us. I would say for most operators, so about 75% of their network. Um,
Hmm.
you're going to have stores that just they don't have parking availability. Like I have a 3-story climate control building that literally has it's a building, it's got a driveway, and it's got 3 parking spots. Like that's not going to
Yeah,
work. But
agreed.
if you have the ability to park, not just semis, because you can designate. We have box trucks parking. Some dude rented it for a car one day. I have no clue why, but maybe he was traveling, but he rented it for a car one day.
Yeah.
Um, you have that. So from a scalability, it's easier to scale. It's easier to control because I can tell them at this property, I have 2 spaces to use. So only 2 people maximum could ever book here at one time, right?
Hmm.
And if someone wants some long stay, like, oh, we want to book it for 8 months, then we would have a conversation. Okay, we need to turn them into just a regular rental customer because there's no sense in them. It just doesn't work that way. So there's ways we can partner with each other. Same thing for us is we have people. We had a guy come in who said something about truck parking, and I didn't have any at my location. We just don't
Yeah.
have any, and the location next to it, we didn't have any. And the
Hmm.
manager said, "Well, go online to this thing, and you'll be able to log in and write it and find a place to park your truck." Because we just didn't have a place. If we would have
Yeah,
had one, we would have parked.
of
And
course.
so it makes it more scalable. And also for us, when we're making business decisions, like, hey, we're going to buy something and it
Hmm.
has a lot of parking. Well, cool. Well, the parking's not filled up. Let's dedicate some spots to this and bring in some ancillary revenue until we fill it up. And the other part that makes it scalable is as an owner, as an operator, I have the ability to say, there was 5 spots here now. I only have 2, or I
Hmm.
have more spots over here. Or for right now, I need to turn this site off because I don't have the availability to do that, but I can turn it back on later, maybe when occupancy goes down a little bit and people have moved out for some and I have some spaces.
Got it.
So that's what makes it scalable because it's adjustable as you go. And as an operator, It's adjustable by a click. So the other thing is that makes it scalable or easy to use is I don't have to go through a whole system to remove a store or turn one off. I have to
Uh,
literally click a button
mhm.
to turn it off, or literally go in and say only 2 spaces now are available. Or a best example today, we have a property that we have another area we found out we can park some vehicles in. And
Mhm.
I sent an email with a picture and said, can you add these 3 spaces for this property and designate it as parking because it's separate from here? And by Friday, they'll have it up on you guys will have it up on the website and people will be able to use that. And it was me sending one email with a picture and an explanation of what I want.
Yeah. No,
So
that's
that
awesome.
makes it scalable.
Yeah, no, and our property team is phenomenal. They can get on there and it's almost like they're reading your mind. It's very, very impressive, even as somebody that has my own yard, right? Dedicated truck parking. Um, Having said all of this, anybody listening today that might be on the fence, self-storage operator, maybe they just got in the business or maybe they've been in the business for a long time, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell you to do 3 things. One is look at where you have space that you can use for this, that it doesn't cost you anything to do, because this is a zero customer acquisition play for an operator. Doesn't cost us. This is one of the few things that does not cost us any money to get the customer, right? There's
Hmm.
nothing we pay up front for. We're doing the work. I would say look at how you want your traffic flow and what else you could cross promote with this. Because you
Okay.
guys have a newsletter and other things that we can work with you guys on promoting certain things, right? So there's a cross motion to look at that. The other thing I would say is when you're looking to purchase properties or you're getting into storage or you're an operator who goes, I got this parcel of land over here and I don't want to spend $300,000 to blacktop it and
Right.
but I might want to spend $10,000 to gravel it,
Hmm.
make some parking spaces, but I can dedicate these for truck parking until I can get this filled up,
Yeah.
right? So you have a way to control and work on some ancillary income. And also, eh, advertisement is key. Extra Space, we both work there. They're a juggernaut. They're all over the internet. Like you click on
Yeah.
anything, there's Extra Space, there's commercials, there's banners that pop up. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
If you're a smaller medium operator, you don't have that kind of budget. So you're looking to partner with people. Well, I now have 11 sites that
Hmm.
literally, what was your last number of people who were invited? I don't want to make sure I get the right number, close to users at the moment.
The amount of users that we have,
Yeah.
truckers. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, over 100,000. We do
Okay.
yeah.
So I have 100,000 people who can see any of those 11 sites.
Ah, that's a good
So,
point.
so I have 100,000 people I'm broadcasting this to, and they might not need truck parking, but at some point they might go, oh crap, I need storage for something, or I have to move, or I have to do something, or I'm moving from point A to point B. Oh, wait a second. I can
Right.
park my truck here and I can do this. And the cost for that for me, zero.
Zero. No, that's
So so I can get all that for zero. I'm telling you, if you're an owner operator, smaller thing, zero is a good number if that's what it costs you to advertise.
nice. Well, lastly, Randy, what are some of the trends, opportunities that you're just kind of excited about in the storage industry moving forward? And especially with Spartan, you guys know what you're doing. You're very agile. You get stuff done. What are you most excited about here? Let's say 5, 10 years.
5, 10 years. So a couple of things. One is we're starting to see, or we were seeing, and I think we'll start seeing again if we keep bringing some interest rates down, people who need more storage, have some ancillary storage, have the ability to move a little more. There's a big, for the middle generation, my kids are in their 30s.
Hmm.
Neither one of them want a 5 bedroom house. They want a 2 bedroom townhouse or smaller that are going to need storage because it's easier and more convenient for them to
Yeah.
put their stuff that they only use seasonally or out there. So to market to that group. I think, we're one of the people who I would say is a little more in the forefront of this for our size, especially, but teaming up and looking for ways to have hybrid operations, not remote operations, hybrid, because in this business, One of the things that will never change, it really won't. Even the younger generation does this. You're storing your personal items. You want somebody at some point to talk to, a real human being, not AI, not a bot,
Yeah.
not a chat, to talk to, especially when there was a rainstorm or there was a hurricane that came through. You want to talk to human beings.
Yeah.
Um, I also think that as you look at some of the changing of growth patterns where people are moving, you know, 10 years ago, it was everyone was moving near the cities. And if you looked at the markets, New York, you couldn't build enough things around New York City for storage if you tried.
Yeah.
Everybody, but you just kept building and building, and you could charge even before COVID. New York, you could charge whatever you wanted, and people needed it, right?
Hmm.
More and more people are starting to go back a little more to the suburbs. They're going back to these communities they're building with townhouses and condos. They're moving back to, there's this huge movement of small houses, which
Hmm.
keeps seeming to be getting bigger. And the one thing small houses don't have is any storage ability.
Yeah.
Um, so you're starting to see like things like that right now. You're looking at the Pacific Northwest is booming. You can't build enough storage in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what they're storing, but you keep building and they keep coming,
Yeah.
right? That's going to start to switch more and more. You're going to see it switch to kind of the heartland as things start to build out more, as people start to go, you know what? I can get a lot more bang for my buck moving here,
Hmm.
and I can get some storage over here, and I can get some land that I want, but I don't need a huge house to go with it.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that more and more, coming.
Interesting. No, I'll piggyback a little bit. I remember one of the markets I helped at Extra Space was in Wisconsin, like one of the first like Extra Space stores out in Green Bay.
Yep.
And I was like, this market is insane. It's so durable. There's
Yeah.
so many people moving there.
Yep.
And again, and obviously on the truck parking side, there's a lot of freight that goes through that area. So it was just a great area. I agree with you. And Randy, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a Truck Parking Club property member. And for everyone else, we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Take care. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.